Sitting at the wheel, you and the ball of clay that you're going to wrestle with to take shape in what you desire. The tension's building up. There is water flying everywhere, the clay spinning faster and faster. You manage to take control and form what was once a ball of clay into a beautiful masterpiece. Have you ever felt what it feels like to wrestle with multiple pounds of clay? Well, this is what making pottery is like. Many people are left bored, not knowing what to do with their free time without any hobbies. Ceramics can be the solution for that. By listening to this speech, you can decide if pottery is the hobby for you. I've been doing pottery for a little over 2 years, constantly learning and advancing my techniques. Today, I will be talking to you about the 3 steps that go into making a ceramics masterpiece: throwing, firing, and glazing. The first thing that I'm going to be talking to you about is throwing. This is where you form a piece on the potter's wheel while it spins at various speeds. As stated in the book, Ceramics for the Potter by Addison Wesley, the wheel is the tool of the potter, allowing him to use his skill to quickly produce beautiful shaped pieces. The potter's wheel allows for mass production of handmade pieces. You can make anything from small mugs to giant vases on the wheel. There is no limit. There is a foot pedal that is used to control the speed. Like driving a car, the harder you push, the faster it spins. Being able to control the speed is very tricky to get a hang of, but is also very important to master. If the piece is spun too fast, it will collapse and become off-centered. Being off-centered is when the piece is no longer in the middle, and it can create uneven thickness of the walls. Now that I've talked to you about throwing, I'm going to be talking to you about the next step, which is firing. During the state between making the piece and glazing it, you must fire the piece in a kiln. A kiln is like a large oven that can get over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This dries out the clay and makes it less fragile. According to howstuffworks.com, the 3 most common types of kilns are electric, gas, and wood. Once the piece is fired, its shape cannot be changed. The kiln shrinks the piece a bit because the particles in the clay contract because of the high temperatures. Inside the kiln, you are able to place as many shells as you'd like to fire as many pieces as you'd like. Firing the kiln takes about 8 hours, but you cannot open it right away, or else the difference in extreme temperatures will crack the pieces. So after the kiln's fired, you must wait about a day for the temperatures to lower. Different size kilns take different amount of times to heat and cool down. Now that I've talked to you about firing, I'm going to be talking to you about the last step, which is glazing. So after the piece is able to be unloaded from the kiln, you can start your glazing. According to howstuffworks.com, using glazes require a lot of experimentation and practice. Many factors like kinds of kiln, the kind of clay you use, impact the final result. The type of clay you use depends on the type of clay you use to make the piece. High fire glazes are more of a deeper color, while low fire glazes are more of a light, fluffy color. There is also underglaze, which you can use for details and intricate designs. Underglaze runs less than regular glaze. You can layer multiple colors on top of each other to get different effects. The chemicals in each glaze react different with each other, making it a surprise to see how the colors turn out every time. If the glaze does not come out to your liking, you can reglaze it over and over again until you are satisfied. Most glazes are dishwasher safe, which means you are able to eat and drink out of them. Some are not, so this is good to keep in mind when choosing your glaze for your piece. If it is not dishwasher safe, it will just say it on the glaze container. Now that I've talked to you about throwing, firing, and glazing, hopefully you could decide whether you want to take up the hobby of ceramics and create pieces of your own. that you are able to use and eat off of or for decoration. Thank you for listening to my speech.